Assalamu alaikum everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Yes, I know, it's different. I shaved my head yesterday for a change. My hair was getting quite long and I didn't shave my beard, though this is the lowest I could go in terms of my own religious beliefs, because I don't believe in shaving the beard. Because it's No Shave November, so we'll be having a contest, all the guys in my program, trying to see who can grow their beard the longest. So, just a friendly thing in case you were wondering. Today I'll be talking about da'wah, or calling. It's literally a calling, an invitation. Some people translate it as proselytizing in the religious context. It's something that we see a lot as Americans here. And I think to a certain degree, some of the Americans don't take it too well. And I think they kind of have a right to do that, because some people here are very pushy when it comes to this issue. For example, we'd be in the taxi cab and the taxi driver would find out that, I'm with non-Muslims from America. And so just because he loves his religion and his way of faith, he'll hand out books. Or we had an incident where one guy said, "So you're still not Muslim? You've been in Egypt for a month and you're still not Muslim?" And he was just he thought that was such a strange matter. Another guy asked one of my buddies, he said, "Haven't you read the Quran yet? What is this?" And then so he turned to me and he said, "Have you read the Bible?" And he couldn't say yes, which is very interesting. And we should learn about our way of doing things, but also, bridge out and learn about other ways as well. And what's very interesting also is there's a sort of da'wah within a religion, or within a way, within a deen, you could say. So when I talk to people and they find out I'm an American Muslim, the first question often is, do you pray? I'm not even kidding. It's the weirdest thing ever. Do you pray? People want to know, do Muslims in America pray? Or are we just totally lost? Then if they continue in the conversation, they ask me, do you fast in Ramadan? At first I was just very offended, because these are very personal questions. These are between me and my Lord. They're not anybody's business, and they shouldn't be anybody's business. But, they have good intentions in asking these questions. And it reminded me of a situation we have in the U.S. And I'm generalizing, but largely immigrant Muslims, even though they're not a monolith, and more indigenous, even though sociologists will totally say I'm using this term incorrectly, indigenous Muslims, maybe of white American or black American ethnic background, immigrant Muslims of, I'll say, South Asian or Middle Eastern. These terms are so much more nuanced than this, but just for the sake of time and for the sake of getting the idea through, I'm going to generalize. And the idea of, if an Arab Muslim sees a black American Muslim, he might turn to him and say, "Hey, do you want me to teach you how to make wudu," which is ablution, it's a very basic thing, or how to pray, or how to read the Quran? And they might be doing it with a good intention, but it looks, it seems very condescending. And so I've experienced that here, and so it made me better appreciate the how do I say, when black American Muslims come to me and tell me these stories and tell me how offensive and condescending it is. Because, I've had people come to me and tell me, "Do you know how to pray? Do you need help making wudu? Do you know how to read the Quran?" Or they try to do it subtly, like, "Hey, I want to hear you recite Quran, huh? I want to hear your voice," or something. But I think it's really just a test to see, do I know the rules of tajweed, which are the proper recitation of the Quran, or have I not studied it yet? So, it's like how Egyptians here, when they see us, the Americans, they always ask the same question: what time is it? Sa'akam. Because they want to know, can we respond? Can we speak Arabic? And so, they'll often go back to the little group of friends and start whispering and laughing and saying, he actually replied to me in Arabic. He's white, he's an American, and he replied to me in Egyptian Arabic. And the thing is, in terms of the whole da'wah thing and making da'wah to non-Muslims, I think it's because just being Muslim is so normal here. I mean, you have a large Coptic Christian population. It's very interesting, and this is what I've heard, but they're very peaceful relations here between Christians and Muslims. They're very peaceful in Egypt. They say it's the most peaceful. I mean, I don't really know, but this is just what people claim. And I haven't spoken to Christians yet, but I do want to go. I want to visit churches that have sermons in the Arabic language. I think that's just very interesting, seeing a church in a different culture, in a different context. But the thing is here, I mean, it's just Muslims are everybody. It's just Muslims are the taxi driver, Muslims are the sheikh, the religious leader. The Muslim is the policeman and the Muslim is the thief. The Muslim is the taxi driver and the one riding it. The Muslim is the teacher and the student. And so it's just so normal for some people to just see Muslims that when they see one who isn't, it's just like, wow, let's call them to Islam. And as one of my friends said, I'm not offended by the fact that they're trying to proselytize, because if you have something and you know that it's worth something, why not share it? It's just, I think that it's kind of like advertising, okay? And we really need to analyze ourselves. If someone comes to me and tells me, hey Tamam, I saw a movie, it's really awesome, it's great, you gotta go see it, then I might say, okay, that sounds great, let's go tomorrow, let's go to the movie theater, let's rent it, something like that, or a song, hey, listen to the song on YouTube or whatever it may be. But if it's something that has to do with God, if it's something that has to do with something that's beyond the worldly, then I feel like we often just, because of secularism's effect on our whole mindset about it being institutionalized in our whole educational system, we kind of just, whoa, what is this? This is, don't talk to me about this. And I personally, if someone comes to talk to me, I've had Mormons talk to me about their religion, I'm just very interested, just finding out why do they believe the things they believe, what are their books, what are their sources, because when you learn about other faiths, you better understand your own. And heck, you may find something that you like better, and you might want to change over, and you got to follow your heart, see whatever's true for you. But it shouldn't be excessive. I mean, some people are very excessive, and it's like advertising. Your word of mouth advertising, it's often pretty cool. They might peer pressure you to going to a party you don't want to go to or something like that, which could be bad, or getting in a sticky situation. But some people are like telemarketers. They just keep calling, keep asking, or they do it in a very offensive way. At MSU, Michigan State University, where I used to attend for the past 3 years, you have near one of the halls, Wells Halls, you have these people who come out and they just start screaming, "You're going to hell! You're doing this, you're doing that if you don't do so and so." It's a certain religion. And even people of that faith I've spoken to say that's not the way to do it. So it's just interesting difference. We have that, I know, in the U.S. We have people on street corners, not as much. I didn't see that at all actually here thus far. You don't see people preaching or handing out pamphlets a lot. There's a few who handed out stuff in English or books, and I don't think they even understand English or the words in it. A lot of the stuff on Islam is not true, or it's poorly worded, it's bad grammar, it's just, I don't know, they need new material, if they want to do that way. But I think the best thing is to just kind of go through our lives and keep searching for the truth, thinking outside the box. Don't limit yourself, listen to other people, listen to new ideas, and just go with whatever you believe in, and don't shy away from being exposed, and just stick to something and be consistent, and we should try not to be hypocritical, and seek the refuge of God from that. That's just an interesting little observation I had that I wanted to share, and Assalamu alaikum.